too pretty for Checkmate. On paper, at least, this is one where ViCi should dominate. This team are almost untouchable on this map, and certainly for a team like Checkmate, after a close performance on what is by far their best map, this one should not be pretty.
Yeah, like they got banged out by Invictus on this map, and like Invictus I wouldn't rate as a particularly good nuke team. Like, they're not bad. They went close versus ViCi, but ViCi ended up just stringing that back. So I would expect a lot here. Interestingly, they've chosen to start T-side. Maybe they've got a plan, because this pistol round seems to be going very well indeed, as they have found 3 openers. Well, it's left on to Kaze and Orman. Trying to bring this one back. I think there was actually a TK in there somewhere, but nonetheless, they are still in a 1 versus 3 situation. Kaze left alone. All he has is a flashbang to his name and his trusty P2K. While with the bomb planted, I don't see much of a miracle happening here.
And Kaze's just going to be tiptoeing away. I mean, he's got nothing to save, really. P2000, the flash. That's not going to even be carried over. But at least Rue dies to the bomb. That's something, Tom. That's an upside for sure. The Checkmate, they come out on top. They come out smelling like roses in that round. And ViCi, well, the force buy is, of course, coming through from these guys before I can even mention that it might be. Well, that said, there's a scout. Kaze hasn't actually fully invested just yet. I want to see what they go for. A very scrappy opening round. It definitely comes out looking a whole lot better for Checkmate than you'd like. And Kaze keeps up the 1300. I like that, just so we can get the AWP out as soon as he can for the outside control.
I am really interested by the point that they've started to choose, or decided to choose the T side to start. That's really interesting. I guess maybe just feeling like if they can get off to a good start on the T side, maybe they can sort of rally the troops enough to have a good CT side on a map they're not too comfortable on. It's still a surprising idea, though, because this map is historically very CT-sided. Not so much as it used to be, of course, with this iteration of it, with teams getting better and better, it seems. But, yeah, to choose to start there, that's unheard of. Orman tries to go for the fadeaway deeg. There's something so satisfying about somebody hitting a 1 deeg where they switch to their knife afterwards. I don't know why. I think it just looks so much better than a normal kill.
It's just sheer confidence.
Yeah. It's like not looking at explosions. Yeah. It's like just that walk away of like, I didn't even need a second bullet. Unfortunately for Orman, he did.
Yeah, it's like the one taps as well with an AK. Someone just peeks out, one taps, flicks away. You're like, yeah, I know I killed you.
It's always great at the end of a game as well. Like, I like it happened to me the other day where you go to spray, but the first bullet lands the headshot, so the game obviously just ends. And well, obviously, you know, Jordan, he goes, "Did you mean to do that?" I was like, "Yeah."
Yep, one tap, baby. That's what I'm here for.
I don't have the balls to do that unless I'm like pre-firing an angle or just like jiggling. This round, not going to be much invested. The plan here for ViCi is to do some damage, as you mentioned. Kaze already saving enough money for the AWP, and Advent also with a little bit extra to invest into some grenades. It'll be a decent buy for ViCi coming into the next round, and that's where we should see a turn of the tides. But I'll be honest, it looks like at the moment Checkmate are just playing with confidence. And although that sounds like a pretty cop-out thing to say, sometimes that can be enough. Like if they're just feeling themselves, they go aggressive, they start taking fights that ViCi aren't used to playing against, which, let's be honest, they should be used to most things, playing up against Tyloo and Invictus on a regular basis. But let's just, for story's sake, say that they're not expecting it. Maybe they can scrape out some extra rounds. The problem is, I don't think this is a map they're comfortable on, and that's based off the one map that they've played where they lost 16-7.
Definitely not confidence inspiring for sure. And I do wonder about the depth of their T side when they come up against the full buy. Exactly what we're going to see. I'm quite excited, to be honest, because You only have that one game sample size. Who knows? Maybe Checkmate come in and they are confident. If they could take down ViCi, they would join a very exclusive list of teams that have beaten them on Nuke, first of all, but then beaten them in a series as well.
Yeah, I feel like that list currently goes, what? Tyloo, obviously. Invictus. Tiger? I don't know if there's... Maybe Beyond as well. Beyond might have taken them in a series at some point.
Oh, Beyond. Not this one. Not the way they're playing right now.
Yeah, like what old form Beyond, I guess you could call it. Because technically, they've not changed much.
Yeah, the lineup is the same, but they tend to only lose to the kind of top teams within the region. And here we go. Oh no, Advent jumped on his head. That's so unfortunate. The spray from Jam Young a little bit premature. Or maybe a little bit late, I suppose, as he comes through just as the player steps back. A 3v4. Player Advent's giving away his position. Or Ammon even. I don't know what you do at this point. Do you go for it? 20 seconds to get in there and defuse? I don't think so.
Well, it looks like they agree with you. Jam Young, Kaze, just sat outside. And I do quite like what we're seeing at the moment from Checkmate, because they're just sticking to the basics. And that's if you're not a team that's particularly comfortable, that's the best you can do. Just go, okay, let's just work off our individual skill. We've been out fragging them for the majority of the last match. Let's just keep doing that. Let's ride the wave of our confidence. And I think that played a big part in them choosing the T side, I'll be honest. Just going, okay, how can we set the pace ourselves? How can we make sure that we're choosing where this battle goes down? Well, we start on the T side. And thus far, well, the kill spread on their team is currently between 2 and 3. So it's every single player performing, feeling confident, knowing that they're battling versus a titan of the Asian Counter-Strike scene. The well-known number 2. Well, it's another buy. ViCi obviously keeping the majority of their players alive in the last round with the maximum loss bonus allows them to invest into this one. Kaze looking like he might be about to be challenged, and the CT side have gone aggressive on the outside. Kaz has managed to trade back 2 of the aggressive players. He had a phenomenal first map, and it looks like he is not stopping.
Ruse picked up Advent, and so it's not just Kaz that's going to be doing the heavy lifting. Jam Young, oh, it's a great position, and the timing is fantastic. He sneaks in and gets a kill for free. Kaz thinks he's sneaking behind him. He thinks he's got the play, but Jam Young's aware, and so it's a 1 versus 2. Kaze, the target of Rue's aggression, but on his route through, he's being very, very cautious, waiting for his teammate to come through so they can jam themselves right into this site. Gotta be careful on the drop down there. Jam Young stays nice and healthy. He gets sprayed away, but Kaze knows exactly where he is now. Oh, what? What was that shot by Rue? How did he connect that? I didn't even see him.
Well then, that's one hell of a way to win yourselves a round. This started so wonderfully. Kaz with some crisp, clean, well, we'll say shots. And then, well, there was this from Rue. First kill goes his way.
Oh,
just a reaction.
no.
That was pure reactions. Nothing more, nothing less. 5-0 for Checkmate. And while ViCi are going to invest back into this one, bear in mind, again, they only managed 7 rounds versus Invictus when they played them on this map. They're already up to 5.
The groundwork's being done, man. I mean, Checkmate, they're not here messing around. You got Kaz showing up. Big plays early on by Rue. I mean, he was going into the second half of overtime with 10 kills on the previous map. And he's already had way more impact coming into this half. No, this map. They have lost Blitz, who's had a shocking series alongside Techno and Rue. Does he check above him as he goes out? No, he doesn't. That's dangerous. Advent picks up one. He's not quite quick enough for the next, but Kaze. So, you knew he was there! Oh, that's a silly mistake. Looking up towards heaven. Hawk grabs the first deep nade to do a little bit of damage. It does none. Must have bounced down.
He has the bomb.
It's doable, right? He can get into vents easily.
Well, I don't know about easily. Although Kaze actually looks away. Oh, timing is everything. He's managed to thread the needle. Kaze was watching that spot, well, ironically, like a hawk, and then decided to fall back at the perfect moment. Now, they'll hear the door. This is where he should go straight for the plant. Gets into an after plant position. Now, there's already going to be Kaze around the ramp. I don't know if you expect him to be here so soon. And Kaze does not miss. 5-1. It took some time, but ViCi are onto the board. But that round itself was a costly one. Even the extra damage done towards the end could still put them in an awkward position for the next couple of rounds.
I'm kind of on the checkmate train, to be honest. Not even because I have dinner reservations. I've got time. Got time to burn. But I do feel like, ViCi are making a couple of mistakes. They did look shaky when it came to Inferno. And yes, this is a good map. And I do think they're going to answer back. I don't imagine... I would be surprised if Checkmate got anywhere near double digits on this half. I think you're probably looking at 7 rounds to close it out. But even still, I mean, that's a reserved estimate, and that is pretty damn good. You get 7 rounds T-side versus ViCi. Tom, correct me if I'm wrong here. I'd like to know your opinion on this one, but for me, presuming Checkmate don't know Nuke that well, right? Presuming that one official scales with the level of practice they have on this versus other maps. Excuse me. I reckon that Checkmate will do better on the T side, or at least it will be easier for them on the T side than the CT. Because when you've got to play proactive rotations against a team like ViCi, how they normally play Nuke anyways, I see that as a very, very difficult time to make any calls.
Yeah, I think as well, like, having a stand-in that is being put into so many pivotal roles, like, if he's having to try and hold on to ramp solo versus a team like ViCi, that's going to be really difficult. So I think their confidence will need to be sky high, and I think they're going to need a lot of T-side rounds, but they've got off to one hell of a good start. The money for ViCi, well, they'll get at least a decent amount of loss bonus into the next round, but it won't be pretty if they lose this one. So this is where the Chinese powerhouse, with a little bit mixed in, needs to show that they are the raid boss that they are when it comes to this region, especially when it comes to this region on Nuke. There was a reason that this map was not played by Tyloo, and I don't think it's because they were scared of any other team. I think it's because they didn't want to play ViCi on this map. It didn't reign true. Now, that fear has disappeared recently. They might need to put the fear of God back into Tyloo as the playoffs loom, but they're not doing that right now. The T's have come up with a double trade. Is anybody watching that smoke? Orman, the spam through would be enough to deny them, but in fact, they're going to re-smoke him out. Molotov thrown in to leave Kaze out of position. They're not leaving anything unchecked, at least for now. Still trying to peer over. And there comes this one way, onto the paint pot, to try and clear out some of these closer angles. Hawk has spotted them. Kaz with the trade, but Orman finds one more. It's left all onto Rue. Same spot, same position, but not the same result. It's ViCi to come back into this with a second round onto the board. It's ever so close, and the bomb plant will help out Checkmate a bit. It might leave Hawk on a little bit less cash, but a Mac 10 on Nuke, it can work.
It definitely can. And pretty much any weaker weapon can work on this map, similar to Inferno, just because there's so many of those angles you can hold close. You want to go down in events, you want to play on top of hut, or just close squeaky. You can play ramp with it as well, you can get boosted up. There's a lot of versatility on the CT side. And then you look at the attacking, well, as long as you get into secret or down vents, you're good to go. Hold down a lot of map control for your teammates, but for Checkmate, I see them setting up, well, they were setting up the smokes for outside. Now they're gone. They're flying out there already. Flash is in play just to pull these players back. And Jam Young, well, he's going to be smoked off by a CT smoke. Now that allows him to get up on top of the barrier on his left side and see above it. But for now, he's holding very, very passive. These Deagles, this Deagle, able to get right up in his face and look for a kill. That timing is terrible. I like dropping the nade. That's actually done quite a bit of damage as well.
Yeah, they are very low and pushing through a smoke, but Jam Young on the other end is not always ideal. Techno, though, has done a good job of at least trying to bring this back, but the HP of the remaining players is horrific. 10 apiece. With the other side so healthy. It's a risky face from Kaze, but he wins the duel at least. Oh, for Techno, no real good decision here. Saving the AK will leave him with a disproportionate amount of money to the rest of the squad. Fighting, well, maybe he can make things a little bit more costly, but he'll have nothing for the next round. And with Kaze spotting him out, gonna switch over to the M4. The spray doesn't quite do as much damage as he was hoping, and he's kind of got nowhere left to run. There's no good decision. He's going to actually double back around and end up in Orman's crosshair. It is 5-3. ViCi start to grind things back.
It's going to be a slow road, though. I mean, the road to progress, it always is, but they have made it hard. Very hard for themselves. But then again, that's the thing that we always say, right? Those early rounds, they're not always repeatable. It's the fact that there were 2 full buys in there, ViCi saving over in one of them very early on. And quite convincing rounds. Now we... Oh, whoa, okay. Just a straight rush out through the door. I feel like we could have seen a little bit more utility in this round, as in we could have seen some utility in this round. And it's not uncommon, Tom, for some teams... Oh! What was that, man? That was a drive-by shooting. Oh my god. Let's see that again in slow-mo. We have to. God, what is up with Checkmate, dude, and these, like, quick fadeaway shots? I'm loving it. I feel like sometimes you can buy utility instead of a pistol. Like, what's going to do better for you? A flash or a P250? Or an extra P250, like... This first one, it's whatever. He does a good job. Taps him up. It's not on the swing. Oh, no. It's nasty. Just as the nade comes in as well. He's like, I'm taking you with me.
Even still, ViCi now with a streak of rounds. 4 in a row after what was a strong start to Checkmate. We're starting to see them rise to the occasion. Jam Young's going to be pressured off the ramp. A little bit of damage done off the back of utility, but the ground that's been gathered that plays the most crucial part for Checkmate in this position. Seems like they might have the idea of actually wrapping back around. Kaz is going to get another entry, looking to try and almost do this on his own, but he gets caught out by Zoking. Rue, however, is quick to get the trade, and in a flash, they've taken complete control of this A site. Jam Young, play through this vent would be bold. He needs his teammates to make some sort of distraction, to give him an angle, to give him a way back into the site, and Kaze and Orman are somewhat sectioned out. Orman's going to have to be the one to make the move first, and he doesn't really have any support as of right now. The spam through doing some damage. Jam Young has managed to find a pick. In fact, they're all falling, and in a moment...
Well, momentary lapse of judgment there.
Oh, it was such a perfect retake as well. Like, they did everything right, and then it just ends with that, which it almost takes away from how wonderful that retake was.
Well, sometimes you gotta have some fun. You gotta play catch with your buddies. Jam Young, for all his troubles, all his struggles, and all he's done for the team, gets taken out. 5-5. 5-5. And if you're ViCi at the moment, yeah, it's starting to heat back up a little bit. That oven is definitely warmed on up. Oh, this is so dangerous by Jam Young. I do not like that at all. And he gets wrecked for it. Big risk and a lot of map control loss. Where do they go from here? Oh, they've gotten all the way over to observation room already. Zoking, well, he goes through for the peak by himself. Kaze was there for a little bit of utility support. With no kills going his way. As a 5v3 retake, and I mean, it's not like ViCi have got the most money here, Tom. They could be considering the save. The old penny pinching.
Oh, it seems like, again, it's more these just brute force plays. Like, those are ones that we've seen many a time go completely wrong and a multi-frag come in for the player on the other side, but this time it works out for them. And that's basically all they've been doing. They've just been catching a few players off guard, doing some sheer brute force 5-man pushes in one direction. Either that, or maybe Kaz has found them an opener somewhere. Well, it will be 6-5 now in favor of Checkmate. Still a solid T-side. The main reason we're sort of putting an asterisk on how well they're doing is because we don't know how they're going to perform on the CT side, if we're being brutally honest.
Yeah, of course. It's always a little bit of an up and down one for you. You know, that score only goes up in one direction, but it might go up on the other side. And that's the problem with Checkmate. I hope their CT side brings us something good, because this is a serious opportunity for them to deliver a solid performance versus one of the best teams in the region. And having already beaten Tyloo on Inferno, I mean, it's a spot where you're smiling. With a 1-round lead on the T side, 6 on the board. As I said, I see them finishing around 7. I think possibilities there to bring a little bit further, though, considering where the economy's at for ViCi. This one buy round essentially is 2. And even though Blitz gets a great trade on the Jam Young, Zoking was there to eliminate Hawk and put this into a 2-man advantage. Turned into 1 for ViCi. They've got map control as well. Mostly towards the A site. But a passive hold on ramp. So the only downside is that they could maybe go down vents quite quickly and get the B side overtaken. And obviously the fact that Secret's completely open, but that's not a concern for another couple seconds.
Kaze taking quite a wide angle on this. Shot missed and just about gets around the corner. He's been taking some fairly risky peaks in this game, and if you notice, he's currently 3-4, so in terms of impact, very little. A lot of the time ended up saving. And they've had this wrap around into the B site. Techno will be getting the plant down. Blitz taking some initial damage, but is still trying to hold on to the vents. He's failed, though, and that could be a problem. Techno and Orman both completely whiffing their spray, but for the side of Checkmate, that's a far worse scenario, as currently in a 2 versus 4. They have so many players to find. Advent takes the peak. Techno's just gone huge. A triple spray down for the youngster, and now it's left all onto Zoking. He needs the quad kill to win this one. Bomb's going to be tapped. He's going to fall for it. The door's open, and he gets the headshot as well. What a play. Techno 4K is the name, and he will get the 7th round for Checkmate. What a ridiculous clutch that was.
Absolutely insane work by this young gun. The stand-in for the team. The player we said on the previous map we needed to see more from. Well, he is delivering. That is for sure. What a clutch. What a round. And what a win. As Checkmate takes 7. That is the milestone I said I thought they'd finish on. But now they're up against the Nico, Tom. So odds are they push all the way to 8. I mean, this is looking like an amazing half for Checkmate. Their CT side, although I don't think it's going to be as good, it only needs to match it. And I've already brought it across the line. That's clean as well. That's not so clean.
Yeah, if the other was clean, that was definitely dirty. But, you know, both are good.
It's good to be dirty sometimes. Just ask Dinko.
I knew that was coming.
Like when he goes
I
out.
resisted saying it, and I was like, no.
Just like when he goes for a run, because he goes
Yeah,
out,
of
he lives in the
course.
countryside. So I remember he sent me some drone footage. He had a drone out. He was out in the countryside. He was running along the fields, and it was pretty muddy. It was pretty dirty, but it's good.
running along the fields.
Well, yeah, of course. It's just going for a
Was he
jog, going for a
Theresa
walk.
May?
Yeah, he
I
was
was
very
frolicking
naughty.
in the fields of wheat.
The naughtiest thing I've ever done. But yeah, Dingo loves to do some dirty stuff like that in fields. But at the end of the day, you know, he's fitter for it. He's healthier for it. And I respect it. He also records it with a drone and sends it to me, as I said. But I don't know if he wants it shared. Has he tried to smoke that and then realized he had a flash?
Who knows?
It looked like he... Maybe it was actually a pop flash around the corner. Could have been. It just kind of, for a second, I was like, did he just try to bounce that off the molly and then go,
Here we go.
Oh, that's a flash.
Here we go. It's a wraparound. Ormond started strong. Zoking is going to get one. And this is looking like a much better round. However, Rue has shot another. The timing, though. Oh, he's got the kill. What's just happened? Jam Young. What's gone wrong? And look at the HP. They're both surviving by the skin of their teeth. But they've got an afterplant situation. This seems to be the way that things just go for Checkmate. Ormond is peeking over the top. The timing doesn't quite work out for him. Look at this wraparound as well. They know they have to try something spicy. So Hawk has gone for the big brain play around the world, up the ladder, right behind them. There's no way they'll be expecting him to be here. And Ormond, he's going to tap onto the bomb. No, he tries to get two and he's got nothing instead. The round's gone. Oh, I appreciate the attempt by Hawk, but he got greedy. And that's going to be ViCi just about getting that round over the line. It should have been an easy one for them after the start they had. But damn, that was close.
You know the good old saying, get greedy and get shot by an M4 you didn't think was looking at you. And that's exactly what's happened to Hawk, as the old parable says. I was an AK, so, I mean, a little bit different than the prophecy. That's upsetting. Because you're looking at a potential 9th round on the board. ViCi fallen way behind. 9-5 last round. They come into this, that wouldn't be great, but instead they can now pull this up to an almost equalized position. With a pistol round, they can take the lead. This is depressing for sure, but those are the kind of rounds you have to put behind you. Just get on with the future. And a man disadvantage straight away as Kaz. 38 kills in the previous map, but this one he's taken out straight away in the final round, and they're being absolutely dominated. This looks like it's going to be the end of the half, and 7 rounds for ViCi. They've been thrown a lifeline, and now they just need to hang on.
Honestly, I've really enjoyed this series so far. Like, I'm genuinely enjoying this match. It's fun, and that's not something I've said too much. Like, a lot of these... Let's not talk about those smokes. A lot of these moments we've sort of said have been like crazy or ridiculous, but they've had some just great individual plays themselves. Checkmate's putting up numbers. They're pushing ViCi to the limit on a map which has been their bread and butter. It's been their home turf. Nobody's allowed to touch this map when ViCi are on the board, especially not a team that has come through the qualifiers, especially not a team that when we sort of saw them, I know you guys were like, D13 didn't make it. Like, that was the initial response. Now we're raving about them as a team we want to see in the playoffs, a team that plays good Counter-Strike. And look at this aggression in the pistol round. They're going to be clearing out a lot of information. The Julie's on Kaz. It's like he's trying to play into my favor. A pair of guns I've seen ace before, but he's going to have to do something pretty impressive to match that. Jam Young is going to put him down before any sort of kills can come up. Techno tapping away. Rue's in the middle of the fight. How's he here? How is he surrounded by players? What? That made no sense. He just runs through a smoke and catches them out. Bomb ticking away. Zoking has found a good position from Kaze, but the shot's not quite being connected, and they need to get someone on that bomb relatively soon. There's only 15 seconds, and they don't have a kit available to them. Techno, he's going to find one, but he's got to spot out Kaze, and they need to be defusing. I think it's too little, too late. The youngster can't do anything this time, and Kaze is hunting him down. It will be Techno with the final kill, but it is ViCi with the round.
ViCi taking it across the line, and that pistol round, as I said, was something that they definitely wanted to be winning. Obviously, just with a bomb plant alone puts them in a position where they can buy up coming into the next round, so it wouldn't be a tragedy. But having the round win under their belt means that if they force buy, then there's really not a lot. There is a lot separating the two buys. ViCi should be coming out ahead, and yeah, they've gone for the force buy. Now just take a look. Even with the loss bonus you get with no bomb plant, obviously because they're the CT side and they don't get money for bomb plants unless they're traders, then it's SMGs in play, one pistol which is already gone, and it's versus a well, all right, that's one way to do it. They just wrap up behind them.
They've done that in 2 rounds. They did that in the pistol as well. They just ran straight through round, but I guess they realized they went, well, they didn't see it last round. So let's give it another go. Unfortunately, we're met with the same result. The bomb's going to be going down on the B side. Orman this time is holding for rotations, but he doesn't expect the double backstab coming out from Techno. He's just been played. Oh, these rounds are manic. And in another world, I'd probably be losing my mind, but I think at this point, I'm just going with it. I've embraced the madness. They do have a kit. 20-odd seconds on the clock. This is a bold play to go for. Rue's even retrieved a rifle and Advent in an audacious position. It won't be expected. No trade available just yet, but it eventually comes in. And as said, Rue has a kit. He's going to throw down the smoke. He's going to try and just stick this defusal. It might not be expected for Zoking that he has a kit, and I think he's got it. Checkmate are going to take another round away from the clutches of ViCi Gaming. And dear Lord, this team, man, this team.
Something else, bro. I was really nicely read as well. Sticking it off to the side, not the angle that was being sprayed. He only survived like one more bullet and he was gone. I love the adaptation early round as well. The adaptation to just go in for that aggressive play. The double flank as well. I mean, they caught them off guard with the numbers and really showed you how to work around where you've got those SMGs. But it comes down to that. Rue, 20 HP after the spray up. He gets the kill in the end, but it was already done at that point. 9-8. And for the CT side, well, I reckon everybody's smiling, Tom. I don't think anyone's going to be all too upset.
Yeah, I can't even question things anymore. They're competing. They're competing with a top team within Asia. And I don't even think it's that ViCi are playing bad. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're not hitting their level today. But, like, we've seen some crazy spray downs from Kaze. We've seen him hit some nice shots. Jamyoung's the only question mark. I don't think he's been at his level. I think that's the one player where I would look at him and go, okay, I've seen much better from Jamyoung. But at the same time, if the rest of the team are performing, that should have been enough. Like, Zoking had a pretty good first map. For someone, when he performs, they normally win because he's the entry fragger. Like, if he even goes even, I would say that's good for an entry fragger. Like, your Apexes, your Duprees. Like, if they play well, it's normally game over. So the fact that they managed to take that first map is impressive. Now they've got the man advantage once again. It is another investment from the side of ViCi. They've made the realization that they can take this lower bomb site. However, I don't think they've realized Techno's here, but he gets nothing done. Jamyoung with the opener. The trades once again as Kaz and Kaze trade lives. Well, eventually comes down to a 3v3.
Oh, man. Oh, it's a big play with the Tech 9. He's coming up behind, but he gets spotted. What a lucky play by Hawk that he happened to be looking that way. Rue finds Zoking, and it's all onto Advent. He's burnt alive as well, cremated in the corner. As double digits will be reached for Checkmate. And a 2-0, which we all thought it was going to be, might still be coming through, but not quite in the favor of the team that we thought would win. Might be getting ahead of myself there, but with the CT side we've seen from Checkmate so far, I mean, there's been cracks, there's been problems. You look at the amount of space ViCi have been able to find for some of these flank plays. It's definitely not ideal, but might be enough.
Well, this team has definitely put themselves on the map when it comes to, like, doing damage, I suppose. They've taken maps off pretty much every... Have they taken maps off every one of the top teams? They've definitely taken it off Tyloo. They beat Tiger. Did they get a map off Invictus? I feel like they did. Can check. You can have the mic, Mitch.
Thank you. Please post it. It should be here in a few days. This is a pretty solid hold up against the Pistols. They've lost one player. They have got a low HP Blitz, but he won't be engaging any further with Rue coming on the flank play, catching him off, and putting 11-8 on the board. Checkmate.
They did take one.
Okay. But they cleanly sweep up that round, put themselves in a position where obviously they're 3 ahead coming into the buy round for ViCi, and they've got a decent bit of money built up. I'm a fan of this position. If I was on the panel, I would be sliding the percentage slightly towards Checkmate. I'd give them like a 60% chance of winning this map.
Well, the only teams they've lost cleanly to are Bren and Sigma. That's the only thing that sort of blows my mind, is their losses are illogical. Like,
yeah.
They beat Beyond, they beat Tiger, they lost closely to Invictus and Tyloo, and then they get banged by Bren and Sigma. Like, this team make no sense, but I think that's what sort of makes them almost charming. Charming's the word I'd use. A very sort of posh British word, I would say. But I'm maybe showing myself up a little bit here, Mitch. Got to be more Essex, you know, like Hawker.
Oi, oi, it's
Oi,
your
oi.
boy Hawker.
The thing is, I'm from Essex as well, but I just don't try and pull that off because it doesn't work for me. Either way, though, nice flashbang in. Forcing players to look away. The retake's looking good. That is some sneaky play coming out, and there's only one man standing. It's Kaze. He tries his best to hold on, but it is not enough. Another retake, another bomb plant, another position where it looked like it was going to go the way of ViCi Gaming, but they can't hold on. And that's the thing. I think they've made the same realization that, okay, we can have B whenever we want. I think they've only held it once.
Could be. Over Checkmate, 12-8, a spot. I'm getting scared. I'm starting to quake in my boots a little bit, I'll be honest. Wait, Hulk had changed his thing. What was it? I'm going through his YouTube to try and find it.
Oh, God.
Oh, it was the next best UKCS player. Hold on. Oh, my God. What is it? Oh, God. It's so bad. Oi, bruv. I heard you wanted some more UKCS players.
Oh, God. Rue and Techno.
Hawker.
They're getting so aggressive. No position on this map is sacred. They will take it away, but this time Kaze's there to punish, but he doesn't expect the third. Still, though, the trades have gone back and forth. Rue is left low on HP. Kaz has found a kill, but Orman should have him dead to rights. He takes a little bit of HP damage. The same can be said. They're dead even in this scenario. He's made it down the vent, and back to B we go. The same as before, the same as prior. We've seen this after plant position many a time, and Orman, I don't think he realizes that he's going to be coming down the vent. Oh, you melon. You absolute melon. You've just screwed that up beyond belief. He had the drop on him, and instead, he's gone back up the ladder. Does Orman know? I don't think he knows. He's already out. He's spamming the door. This is both players just completely confused as to where the other is. Kaz, it seems like he now has the realization, but will he check this close call? And Orman should have him dead to rights, but Kaz wins it anyway. He couldn't have played that worse and still manages to get the kill. This is unbelievable. How many rounds is that now that the bomb's gone down in a row? Like, I want to check it. I want to check how many times now. So it went round, the bomb went down in round number 2, round number 3. It didn't go down in number 4. I'm sure it went down in the last round as well. So yeah, I think every single round except once, they have got the bomb down. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7. And they've only won one of those rounds, and that was the pistol.
Let's let that sink in a little bit, because this has been nothing but underwhelming from ViCi over these last couple of rounds. Let's see what they're going to be able to muster now, though, in the full buy, as they go for a fast strategy towards outside, swinging down into secret. Players from Checkmate haven't yet rotated down, so this could be a pretty open position to play from. Techno, he's on his way along the catwalk over towards observation window. He's going to have to take a fight. They've spotted him in the open, but he takes a double, shuts them down, gets himself over behind the site, and he's looking for more. His teammates here to support, watching the single door, drops down to look at double. And he's going to back on up. This is ViCi re-gearing themselves to take this A site. But that's a devastating start, Tom, because that should have been a free kill onto Techno.
Hawk's position is a good one as well. He's got to be careful, though. He's trying to make sure he keeps an eye on Heaven, and he will! Clinical! And then he's going to get the second as well. This team is playing lights out at the moment. You can tell they're pumped up. This is what I wanted to see. The individuals of this roster are showing up beyond belief, and ViCi are starting to look deflated. It's not even like they're doing anything wrong in these situations. Sure, maybe they peaked a little bit before the flash, but they try and adapt, they try and trade, and each time there's a man of Checkmate to multi-frag the round for them. They are playing lights out. This is the best performance we've seen from this roster, without a doubt. And that includes them beating Tiger. They are just 2 rounds away from taking this, but we can't take anything lightly, Mitch. We know who they're against. ViCi, I believe, were losing 14-7 to Invictus when they played earlier in the tournament. They won that map, and it was Nuke. So I am not counting them out until it says 16 and we're looking at the end with all the players disconnecting.
Now this is unbelievable, Tom, and genuinely a game that I've enjoyed start to finish. My only concern was that we would end up with ViCi coming in and dominating Checkmate on this map. It is a map where, by all rights, ViCi should be dominating Checkmate. The fact that we have ended up in this position is blowing my mind, and it's showing the respect that we've had for Checkmate since the start of this tournament, Tom. Since, I think, the second time that we saw them, we all fell in love with them. You and I were casting, and we were saying how this team seems to have a lot of potential. They play the most structured Counter-Strike of the bottom 5 teams, and here they are, taking down possibly the most structured team in Asia. Checkmate. 1 round basically away, unless they let Kaze have a 1v4, which I'm desperately hoping won't happen. Oh, okay, there we go. Techno from behind closes it 15-8. Tom, I'm gonna just say this loudly and clearly for the people in the back. For ViCi to beat Checkmate, they need to get 7 rounds in a row, then win in overtime, then win map 3 of Mirage, excuse me. That is a lot of win conditions for a team who are the second best in the region.
It's a shame we don't have Dinko's bleep right now ready for the stream, because I want to say it's absolutely ridiculous. I'll censor myself. Nice start. Orman, he's trying to take this into his own hands. Instead, Rue has found the opener. Look how aggressive they're being. They've taken positioning all the way through the lobby. They've gone back around. Zoking, he's managed to find a kill onto Kaz, though. Maybe overstepping the boundaries a little bit. Rue's going to try and reposition to gain control of Hell. Jamyoung. Oh, he might have got the timing just right. Peeks in, and he will find that pick. Puts them in a man advantage for the first time in a while. They're going to go wrapping back around, heading through Secret to get into the B site. Techno's waiting, but he's looking the wrong way. Jamyoung has stepped up for what seems like the first time in a long time. While Hawk and Blitz, they might just have to take a breather for a moment, as will we. As said, there is no moment in this game where ViCi are out until it ends.
Absolutely. They're in it to win it, and they will not take their foot off the accelerator, even if someone's pumped the brakes for them. I don't know what that does to a car. I haven't passed my test yet, but I don't imagine it's good. At a guess. Best I can do is that we ask our Uber driver next time. Just try that real quick. See if the car brakes. I reckon it will. 15-9. A long, long road for ViCi. I don't think I know I said early on in this one that, you know, I was starting to switch over and be on the Checkmate train, but I really didn't imagine we'd end up here. I thought 7 rounds in the first half. They'd go to CT side. They'd look really uncomfortable. ViCi would manipulate them into over rotations and easily take them, especially with someone like Advent at the helm. But we have seen today, this is not the ViCi that we know. But that's to a small extent. That's a couple of round decisions here and there that haven't quite lined up. For the most part, I do not want to take anything away from Checkmate. They have earned this win. Like, Kaz had 38 kills.
Yet. They haven't earned it yet. Stop it.
If they get 6 rounds.
Stop talking.
Six attempts to close this out. But Kaz's 38 kills in the previous map, I mean, I wanted them to win this series the second he did that. That was unbelievable.
Oh, Kaz starts walking away. He's going to re-peek in. He's dropped the bomb within the first few seconds of this round, but it will be retrieved. It looks like they're going to attempt a play towards this B site once again. And he's going to be forced back. There's already a heavy rotation. Techno in play, but he gets caught jumping. He's dead for sure. There's no way he gets away with anything in this situation. And a mistake that might just cost them. Rue in a good position. Waiting for Jam Young. The flash seems peculiar, though. And it doesn't really help out either player as Jam Young has stepped up. It leaves Hawk 1 versus 4. And again, like, they've got the money for this. He doesn't need to save, but he probably should. He's found a first stone, clearly feeling confident, goes running around the corner, and Kaze is waiting. All too easy for ViCi. Seems like at the depths of this, a couple of players, Kaze, Jam Young, have started to step up. Now the distance is down to just 5, and Checkmate, I like it. They're going to take a tactical pause, try and slow things down a little bit.
5 rounds. Okay. It's not the end of the world just yet. Yeah, like you said, you know, it's not over until ViCi lose. That's where we're at. I mean, we've seen teams far less experienced than ViCi make those comebacks. Give you some context on where we're at right now. At 15-10, if this was just any old matchup, there'd be a 96% chance that the CTs close this out. 96. That's global statistics now. Remember, we are in Asia. we are in the realm of no tier CT favorite. This is a very fast push by ViCi. They're coming out right away. Jam Young opening duel, and Hawk's in danger. He gets a double, recovers it a little bit, but then Zoking is there to continue the trend. The bomb is down, and they'll pick that up. Look for the plants in this even. So Kaze, he's taking a lot of damage. He gets down the vent, but he's lost 50 HP, and they hear the drop. They hear the run. Techno's here in time. Oh, Zoking. He just ran out in the open. Techno's not got any damage, dealing utility to throw on in, but they haven't planted just yet. Techno's just buying time, just distracting as the bomb eventually goes down. And Blitz, he's coming hot on their heels. But that single door needs to be open, and they're not ready for it. Kaze's alone. He's so close. A haircut given, but Techno, he's still alive, looking fresh and looking clean as Checkmate come through and win nuke 16-10, 2-0ing ViCi. And this is the first time this year, definitely, that they've been 2-0 by anyone that isn't the likes of a Tyloo or a Tiger. The last team to beat them that wasn't one of those kind of teams was Lin Vision. That was 2-1 in December.